to the Dream 100 Show, the epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tasner.
Hey there, and welcome to this week's edition of the Dream 100 Show. Today's topic, the next 30 days. Now, there's one business that is the complete exception to what we're going to talk about today. So if you have an e-commerce business, this is like prime time. Most e-commerce businesses make the lion's share of their money in the months of November and December. You've got Black Friday, you've got Cyber Monday, you've got holiday gifts. So like this is, you're lasered in, and I'm hoping that you are moving the needle. You've got amazing Black Friday offers ready to go out, and Cyber Monday and holidays. So you've got to be on point. This is a video that's more for all of the other businesses. What if you have a business that has nothing to do with the holidays, and it's not a product or a service that you necessarily need to make a change or to do something over the next 30 days? Like, how do you make sure that in the month of December? Now, historically, there are a lot of industries that December is the absolute worst month. And it's obvious as to why. People get into holiday mode. They aren't necessarily out doing as much in terms of like the day-to-day stuff because they're taking a week off around Christmas, for example, or New Year's. They've got some time they're taking around Thanksgiving. Like, they do tend to slow down a little bit. So, I mean, strategically, it makes sense. But what could you be doing to try and soften that blow a little bit, have a better December than you normally do have, and kind of speed walk into January versus like crawling so that you've got some momentum right out of the gate? So the first thing that I want you to do is to look at how you can craft some fun holiday messages, some fun holiday promotions, regardless of what your business does. Let's say you are a landscaper in my backyard of Buffalo, New York. Nobody is hiring landscapers in December. There's most likely going to be snow on the ground. You're not thinking about your lawn. But what if they took some really fun photos of your house, a job that they recently had done, they put some fun holiday stuff on and said, our gift to you is 25% off. If you decide to sign a contract in the month of December, you don't have to put any money down until X date. But you tie in with the holiday season. Maybe there's some fun ribbons and bows on it. You come up with an offer that you haven't done in a while. You got that holiday season stuff in there, and you're putting it out there. What's the absolute worst thing that can happen? And this is a question that I don't think gets addressed too often enough. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to put it out there, whether you put it out through postcards, social media, paid traffic, your website, and email. A few of those are completely free of charge. Email, social media. There's zero cost. But what's the worst thing that happens? No one buys it. It's like, okay, that's the worst thing that happens is nobody decides to buy it and our sales stay the same. So what is the absolute worst thing that can happen? You put the message out there and nobody buys, and you try something else. It's not a travesty if no one ends up buying, but what if you don't try? What if you don't put that offer out? Your revenue's not going to change regardless. So come up with some really fun, creative offers that you can tie into the spirit of the season. My favorite type of offer after Black Friday, Cyber Monday is anything that relates to giving back to the community or helping families that are in need. Now, this is an offer that, quite frankly, you can and should do all the time. But if you know that people are in the holiday spirit, they want to see other families like them win. They want to see other families like them have a great holiday. What if you were to say, for every new landscaping customer that decides to enroll with us, we're going to donate X amount of meals for the holiday season to a local family. For every new financial planning client we get in the month of December, we are going to sponsor a family so they have an amazing Christmas, and they're going to be sponsored with your name, for example. You can do that with any business as long as, and this is the key, as long as it doesn't come across as disingenuous and that you are trying to take advantage of the holiday season. You want to make sure that it's authentic, that the imagery, if you're doing a video, for example, I'm a huge fan of all things video, as you know. So I would much rather do a video that says, hey, this is Michael Tasner at the Dream 100 company. For every new student that we bring in, that we help catapult their business, I want to make sure that we can help someone else. So for the month of December, we are going to help a veteran in your name, completely free of charge, with the Dream 100, get them going with a website as a small thank you to you. Oh, and by the way, we're going to also give you the best price that we've ever offered. So I would want to do that, and I would want to talk about, well, why did I pick veterans and why now? And you'd want to talk about that a little bit. But if you know that people are in the holiday spirit, you know where their mind is right now, they're not thinking about certain things. They might not be thinking about landscaping or buying new appliances right now. Maybe they are thinking about that as a holiday gift for each other. Not a very sexy gift, by the way. Like, oh, wow, we're getting a new washer and dryer. But what if you were to start to change the narrative? What if you were to start with changing the narrative inside of your company first? If the narrative inside of your company and in your mind is December is going to be a terrible month, it's always the slowest month of the year, nobody wants to buy our product or no one wants to buy our service, you spew and exude that energy, your team feels and sees the exact same thing, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to have a crappy December. But if you were to take a step back and change and reframe and say, we're going to have an amazing December. We're going to do things that we've never done before. We're going to partner with a bunch of additional charities, and we're going to aim to give away over $10,000 worth of services or $10,000 worth of gifts, meals, whatever it is. We want to change up what we've been doing. The other thing that you do is you do not take your feet off the gas. A lot of businesses start scaling back on their ad spend. They scale back on sending emails. We just put our entire promotional campaign together for the month of December and changed it up a little bit, and we actually increased what we did from last year by way of number of emails. We're going to send like 15 emails in the month of December. We're continuing to put out promotions. We've increased our ad budgets across Facebook and Google and even TikTok. And we've done that because with the holiday season, other businesses, largely e-commerce, that have a product that fits with the time, they tend to throw more money at the holidays. Rightfully so. So if I want to also not only stay top of mind, but make sure that I don't get lost in the noise, I got to increase my budgets a little bit. So we're doing the opposite of what most businesses normally do in the month of December. We're turning up the gas. We're turning up the dial so that we're having a better December than we normally would if we were to just shut off our marketing, which is never advisable, ever. But then that's allowing me to start to move into the next year with a little bit more momentum, where it's not like, oh my gosh, now we got to make up for the gigantic shortfall, all of our losses in the month of December. You still may lose money in the month of December, but what's the harm of trying some other promotions and continuing your marketing spend? So step one is, I want you to look at what type of campaigns you can deploy over the next 30 days. How can you be strategic? Can you involve your staff, some of your former clients or current clients? How can you then tie into the fun and the holiday spirit with those promotions, with that creative, with the copy? Putting out a regular ad, if you're a landscaper, isn't going to make sense at this stage. Putting out an ad that is red and green should be on your stuff regardless, and has a big bow on it and maybe a present, that kind of stuff is going to get noticed this month versus a regular postcard for landscaping. It's going to get tossed aside. What can you do? If you also know that people are in the gift giving season, what if you were to try some lumpy mail? Lumpy mail is sending something small that has kind of a lump to it, so it often gets opened almost 100% of the time. What if you were to have something fun that was a nice little holiday gift? If you tie into all things Dream 100, this is a great time to gift. However, we don't scale back right now, but we're always cautious on gift giving during the holiday season because we like to give gifts when other people are not giving gifts. I would much rather your gifts be going out now or in January rather during the month of December. I still want you marketing in the month of December, following up, continuing to do your normal Dream 100 activities. But what I don't want to do is have that gift get lost in translation because the attorney that you were going after got 15 other gifts from a bunch of vendors and yours is just kind of lost in the shuffle. If you remember one of my favorite movies, the Griswold family Christmas movie, and Clark goes and puts his gift for the boss and thinks that he was like one of the only gifts, and the guy's like, put it down there and with all the others, and there's like 500 gifts. He's not going to remember, or she, the gift that they got from you during that season. So we don't like to do a ton of extravagant gifts in the month of December. So after you have your campaigns planned, something different, I want you to start to execute those and continue to market, continue your emails, your social media, continue your paid traffic budgets. I want you to be staying top of mind. Test out a couple of different offers during the holiday season. As I said, what's the worst that can happen? Nobody buys. Oh well. No one's painting the outside of their house right now in Buffalo. But what if it was framed as give yourselves the gifts of a new color on your house? And then you tie that in with something else, whether that's best price ever, and or even combining that with something by way of charity. I'm a big fan of doing good for the local community. So maybe you're going, every house that gets painted, you're going to help paint a family's house that cannot afford painting their house, for example. And it's going to be sponsored by your particular name, for example. Now you're creating more and more goodwill within the community. But you've got to do it in a generous way, in an authentic way. Continue your marketing budgets. Continue putting things out there. Pause a little bit on the heavy gift giving in the month of December, but keep up your normal outreach. Keep doing your podcasts, your social media posting, your emails, your handwritten cards, your greeting cards. People love to read those cards. Step up that game a little bit. And then come January, you re-get back into the spirit of hitting up with all those normal gifts that you've been sending. So they're back on that gifting equation. But keep in mind, again, that they're going to be a little bit all over the place this month. So a lot of businesses take a lack of response as disinterested. If someone comes to your website in the month of January, let's stick with the landscaper, and they fill out a form on your website, why would you wait a few months to contact them? Well, they're not interested right now. There's snow on the ground. They're clearly trying to get a jump on the season. Maybe they want to talk a little bit earlier. Maybe they want to throw some money around. Maybe it's a business that wants some tax write-offs. They want to get in a big project before the year is up and prepay. Strike when the iron's hot, and knowing that this is when you grab your customers now. When your competitor, so fix that please. This is when you want to strike and grab your competitor's market share. When they're scaling back, you're scaling up, and at the very least staying consistent. So if you're staying consistent, they're scaling back, you're going to start grabbing that market share, grabbing some more sales so that you are off to the races come 2025. Get out there, get those deals, make it happen. Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.
Welcome to the Dream 100 Show, the epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tasner.